Hey y'all. All right, so I have 3 really good friends, 3 mentors in my life, 3 women in my life who are dealing with some of the bad parts of real estate. I have one lady that makes over $1 million a year, and she is having trouble getting a mortgage on a house that's well under $500,000. She could almost pay cash for this house, and she's having a hard time getting a mortgage on it. I have another really good friend of mine who has been renting a place for over 7 years. I think maybe their 7th year anniversary is this month. But they got the 7-year itch, and they want to move, right? Hey, y'all. As you're coming on here, give me a 3. When you say hello, give me a 3. Let me know if you're watching this live or in the replay. Give me a 3. Also, if you know anybody who has ever had a hard time getting a primary house, whether it was a rental house or a house that they were wanting to buy, give me a 3 in the comments, okay? I'm on the 3s right now. Hey, there's a red bird. There's a cardinal in the tree. Abby doesn't see it. She's out laying in the grass. You want to see Abby? Can you see her out there? See, the cardinal's in that tree. You probably can't see the cardinal, though. But, yeah. Abby's out there in the grass. Okay, so give me a 3 if any of this resonates with you. Give me a 3 also if you're watching it live or on the replay. Drop the 3s in the comments. Thanks, Michelle. I see your 3. My teeth. Okay, so my second friend has the 7-year itch, and she's wanting to shake things up a little bit, and she's wanting to probably rent a place so that she can start investing. And just so y'all know, I am technically homeless, okay? Because I was renting a house, and then I sublet it out to somebody else, and I get all my mail sent to a P.O. box or to my office, okay? I am technically homeless because I rented, even though I have 15 houses right now, 19 apartments, I rented for myself, and I bought other stuff so that those investments would pay for where I wanted to live, right? So my friend has the same philosophy. She wants to rent, and she wants to start buying investments until all of that can pay for what she really wants to buy, right? Which is pretty much my plan too. And she's having a hard time because she had some bad credit 4 or 5 years ago. And so she's having a hard time finding a rental because her credit was screwed up 4 or 5 years ago. And the thing that I hate about credit is, I don't know about y'all, especially you ladies, but I feel like every year or 2, I kind of blossom into a different butterfly, a different version of myself. Sometimes every 4 or 5 minutes. I feel like I blossom into a different version of myself. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. Sometimes my crazy girl brain goes way crazier than I want it to. So my second friend is basically being punished because 4 or 5 years ago she had bad credit. She's got good credit now. She makes great money now. So she's having a hard time finding a rental. Then my third friend was married, and she lived in a state that they didn't really like the schools, or a county that they didn't like the schools. So like 15 years ago, her and her husband decided to move states or counties to where the school system was better. And they bought a big, nice, fancy house. They got a mortgage on it. It's totally cool. But fast forward 15 years, and they're not married anymore. And when they first broke up, it was that he was going to, make sure that she was able to keep the house until all the kids were 18 and gone. And then she'd have to go move and figure out what was going on. So in the last 6 months, he's decided, or maybe his new wife has decided, somebody's decided, that that's not going to work anymore, that he needs that house off his credit. He needs that off his debt to income ratio. He needs to be done with that house so that they can tie up the divorce and, in his mind, finish things once and for all. So my third friend is having to decide how she can keep their house that they bought and he agreed to help keep her in, to keep the kids in. She's having to decide if she's going to fight through and figure out how to do it on her own, or if she's going to say, you know what, we'll move. It's not, people move. I can move the kids. We'll find a smaller place that I can afford by myself. So she's trying to figure that out, and she's having a hard time because where it was 2 of them and 2 credit scores and 2 incomes and 2 people contributing, now it's 1. And she makes good money too. All 3 of my friends in this situation make really good money. But either because, actually all 3 of them are self-employed, and banks hate that. All 3 of them, at some point or another, had a situation with their credit, and banks hate that. And even, one of my friends is staying in an Airbnb for a month or so until they can close, which is, fine. Airbnb doesn't really check credit. But my other friend is thinking that she wants a really nice rental house. She can't find a really nice rental house that will accept how much money she makes now as real money because she's self-employed. My third friend is not only going through a divorce, but also having to decide if she's going to uproot her kids or not. And I know men deal with these same issues because men make money. Men make good money. Men have crappy credit occasionally. Men have, family situations where they want to make sure that they're providing for their family in the best way possible. And I'm sure these issues happen to men. But right now, in this moment, I have 3 of my really good lady friends going through some really bad sides of real estate. And the problem is, as women, especially as small business owners, women, we tend to stick together, We also tend to think with our heart. We think with our brain enough, but we're led by our hearts. And regular real estate has no heart in it. And that is to the detriment of the entire industry. Real estate agents have a lot of heart. And I talk to agents all the time who've had their hearts broken because their buyers got right up to the week of closing and got denied, even though they'd been pre-approved for months and months and months. Not only was the agent looking for a payday on this situation, but the agent got to know these people. She had her heart invested in their story and in their livelihood and in their ability to actually live out their dreams and move into this house. And agents get their hearts broken all the time because the brain side of real estate doesn't cooperate with the heart side of real estate. And there's a lot of things in real estate that don't make any sense with the brain or with the heart. But there's a bunch of dudes somewhere sitting around using their brains, making up all these rules. And it's really giving real estate, and it's been giving real estate, a really bad name. It's terrible. It's almost impossible for anybody, whether you're self-employed or whether you have a really good job, to go buy a house. The paperwork. I already sent that to you. I already sent that. Well, it's a different day. I need it to a different day now. I know banks are trying to protect themselves and banks run off their brains. But that's why what I do in real estate is so important. That's why what I teach my people to do in real estate is so important, because above all, yeah, we make good money. We make really good money. But we really get to help a lot of people. We really get to use our hearts in real estate deals where most people can only use their brains. My friend that's looking for a rental right now is going to be a fantastic landlord. I know she's going to be a fantastic landlord because she's been a great tenant. She's been a great tenant. She's been in the same place for 7 years, probably had no complaints, probably, took better care of it than the people would have themselves. She's definitely been an asset to that whole community. And when she lands in a different place and she starts renting from somebody else, she's going to be a great tenant over there too. But she's also gone through some hard times and been denied and had her heart broken because of some real estate deals. And I know that all of that heartbreak that she has had to suffer is part of her real estate story. It's part of her being the best landlord possible, because when she does become a landlord, she will be able to lead with her heart. Exactly, Liz. She'll be able to lead with her heart. She'll be able to see the paperwork. She'll be able to see the numbers. She'll see the black and white, but she'll also see the people beyond the paperwork. She'll see the situation. She'll see somebody's heart. She'll see somebody's track record. She'll see somebody's potential. That's where a lot of real estate goes wrong, is because whoever's in charge, whether it's the bank or the agent or the seller or the buyer or whoever it is that feels like they're in control at this moment, most deals get dumped on, get screwed up, get complicated, get overused, get battered and bruised because people are using their brains too much. And they're forgetting to put their heart into it. They're forgetting that time that they were in a bad situation. And maybe it wasn't even that they were in a bad real estate situation, but they were just in a bad life situation. And they had to make a decision for what was best for them and their kids. They're forgetting about their friends who built up multi-million-dollar businesses and in the meantime ran their credit cards into the tank. But we're good people and changing people's lives. They forget, as entrepreneurs, as small business owners, a lot of times I know I look up to people that have kind of bad stories, like Disney. We all know that Disney is hugely successful. But he got denied, he got rejected, he got shit on so many different times by so many different people. But he kept going with his heart. And as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a real estate investor, I love the Disney story, like the real Disney story. Because it's perseverance, it's commitment, it's drive, it's ambition, it's motivation, it's all of those things. And I don't know if I'm just a total weirdo or if lots of people don't actually know the Disney story, or, they don't look at, somebody had to see his heart. Somebody had to see his ideas through that little mouse. And yeah, some talent went with it, but there was years of nothing before he came out on top as Walt Disney. Hang on a second. Abby, come here. Abby, don't eat that. I don't know what you're eating, but don't eat that. Come here. All right, so my first friend that I was telling you about makes over $1 million, and she got rejected. She got denied. She got heartbroken over some real estate. And I think she's closing by next week, or maybe the 1st of June. I don't really remember when she's closing, but it's going to be soon. And she is going to get her happy ending because she persevered and she was persistent. My second friend that's looking for a really good rental, it's actually in her dream neighborhood where she would want to buy. But I told her that this rental may be just the way into the neighborhood so that she can talk to all the other owners in there and end up doing, maybe she has a rental in this one, but maybe next year she moves and she moves into a rent-to-own house because she became buddies with the, HOA treasurer or something, and they needed to move, and she knew how to do all the things that I teach in First Deal Done Fast, and maybe that becomes her first deal. Maybe it didn't happen as fast as she wanted to, but it's all a buildup. It's all going towards a goal, and it's all working in her favor. It's all working on her behalf. Every step she's taking, every time she gets a rejection, every time she gets her heart broken by a real estate deal, I know it's just strengthening her story. And y'all, I'm telling you right now, if you've not had your heart broken in a real estate deal, you just hang on. Because whether it's a personal house, whether it's a rental, whether it's the perfect little shop on Main Street that you wanted to put your photography business in, and a competitor moves in before you do, like, real estate can break your heart, I'm telling you. Real estate deals can break your heart. Real estate sellers can break your heart. Sometimes buyers can break your heart. But all of it builds on your story. And whatever your story has been until this point, it can be used to help somebody else. My friend that's going through the bad divorce, it's not really even a bad divorce, it's just a inconvenient divorce, Everything that she's learning about, getting the house refinanced, everything she's learning about, herself, where she was depending on him to make all the financial decisions for the last 15 or 20 years, she can look back on lots of instances where this was a test and she should have looked out for herself first. So she's going to be able to take this situation and take what she's learned through this bad real estate heartbreak and encourage other women to make more money so that they can be in a better position if and when one day he decides he wants his secretary more than you. She is going to be able to use this story to teach her daughters about making money and saving money and always having a little stash for a rainy day. And she can teach other people about, why it's important to have a rainy day fund, or not to do this and that with your credit, or whatever. Like, all three of these women are absolutely amazing, and they are all three going through very individual real estate heartbreaks. And I just want to let you know that those happen. Real estate can and will break your heart. But it's mostly the brain side of real estate that breaks your heart. Because your heart and your brain don't always communicate. But I do believe in following your heart. And I do think that's why what I do is so important in real estate. Because I tell people all the time that I don't even really look at credit scores. I don't like credit. I think credit is the crappiest thing that we all buy into. I look at a lot of other factors in applications and things that have nothing to do with your credit, but have more to do with you as a person. And I've taken a lot of risk letting people in to some of my houses. And I don't think I've done 100 deals yet, not with all the rentals and commercial leases and apartments and everything that I've done. I don't think I've hit 100 yet. But I've only been screwed twice. And in my book, out of 100 at-bats, striking out twice ain't that bad. That's a lot of leading with my heart instead of my brain and getting the deals done and helping people when people need a little bit of help. And we could all use a little bit of help every once in a while, right? So, if you're having a real estate heartbreak, take a step back, check it out. Make sure you identify if the problem is actually with the brain or with your heart. Real estate has too much brain in it and not enough heart most of the time. So I would encourage all of you today to use your heart. Less brain, more heart. I think that goes with everything, though, not just real estate. Anyway, soon as I hear back from all my ladies that they've got their deals closed, they got the rental that they want, and they got their house refinanced without him, we'll have some big celebrations for all three of them. And if you have a real estate situation going on right now, let me know about it too, so we can celebrate that win with the heart. Bye, y'all.